All right, so I'm going to share some interesting things I did on this mix. This just came out today. Link in the description to the video. But I had mixed it back in November. So when it came out today, it was kind of fresh on my ears to hear the mix. And I thought it was pretty decent. I just want to go back and kind of see real quick, what did I do? What did I use? Because sometimes I experiment a little bit with stuff, routing even and stuff. And some interesting things. I'll play a second of it here. Before. So, drums. One thing I did was, as usual, pretty standard. I do have all my drums. There's buses within here, but all the drums go to a overall drum bus right here, and that's just going to control everything. I did put a drum crush also in parallel, so everything goes to there. But there's one track I didn't send to the bus, and that is the kick sub. So I made a copy of the kick drum and filtered everything out besides, about 60 hertz. And you won't be able to hear that unless you have bassy speakers or a subwoofer. So, just using EQ to filter that. And that's going right to the main master bus, not going to the drum bus. Why? Because if you notice when you drum bus compression or even individual channel on the kick drum, you lose a bit of that low end punch when you compress a kick drum. The rest of it sounds better, but the lows and the subs, they get a little weaker, right? And also just, whatever processing I will put on the drum bus, compression, saturation, that's going to get hit hardest by the kick drum, by the subs, right? So if you lessen what's going to the drum bus, it can react a little more evenly to the whole kit, and not so much to that kick drum, right? Compressors, those levels jump with kick drum. Saturation, all that is level dependent effect. So I go light on that, and then I take a separate kick sub and just send that to the master, right? And I can put that as loud as I want. I can make it completely pop out of the mix, theoretically. And get a really punchy low end. That's just not, I don't have any compressors or anything fighting back on it, besides what might be on the master bus. But nothing in the mix is fighting back and compressing that low end. It's sort of back to being open and free. I put like 1 dB of compression on that because the drummer's hitting pretty solid and it doesn't need to really do much. But in case there's any harder hits, they get attenuated slightly. But it didn't really need much. And again, it's just really filtering everything out but that sub. So that is a way to get, and you could do that with toms. Anything that has, a sudden low end or a low end transient you want to pop out, try not putting it on the bus or duplicating it and setting a little extra that's not going to the bus. That's a good one to get your low end punchy. You could even do that with the bass, where you have usual bass situation, a DI and a mic, bust that together, process it like that, but then have a third low end only bass track, 100 hertz and down, and let that be free, where you can really get the low end where you want in the mix, independent of the rest of it. So that's something I do sometimes. What else could I show on this mix? I'm just kind of looking through. A lot of it's just the usual stuff. I like the mix because there's a lot of open space. When there's not too much clutter, you'll tend to be able to get a better mix more easily. One cool thing is the vocals. I used the AI software to completely clean out the band bleed. Again, this is like, Shure microphone. The drummer's 10 feet away from the singer. Think sorry is easily said. So it's completely clean. Don't try turning tables instead. That's really wild. You've taken lots of chances before. So if you can notice, there's a little bit of artifacts, a little garbly sound that comes with making it this clean and getting rid of all that bleed. So I do tend to blend that in with a second track where the bleed is still left in there, minimized a little bit, but and I blend that together. So there's a lot less bleed in the vocal. It's not completely clean because it does tend to get a little weird sometimes with the AI cleaning up all that noise. But it's definitely a great product in the end when you combine the two. What I found interesting on here is, now the vocal in this song, the original, is very chorusy, layered, right? It's probably double tracked or triple tracked, if I remember, and it has like a stereo chorus effect, right? It's all kinds of layering on the main melody. And what I did was actually duplicate the vocal and blend this in low in the mix. And instead of using a chorus effect, which I think I also did, yeah, but I use this where I'm putting an auto tune on the vocal. Now, and I blend this in a little bit with the main vocal, unauto tuned, obviously, and you get a chorusing effect. And with a chorus effect, you're modulating pitch. With this, you're still affecting the pitch, but in a way that's bringing it actually closer to the note that the singer is singing, rather than sort of a swaying or a sine wave or anything like that, where it sounds a little more artificial. This sounds a little more double tracked. I'll play it.
But I ain't gonna give any more. Don't ask me. That's how it goes. 'Cause part of me knows what you're thinking.
So it sounds like two vocals.
Don't say
I think I mainly.
Believe me, the sun in your eyes makes some of the lies worth believing.
See, there's little imperfections in there. It sounds very much like a double tracked vocal. So that's a good one. Just blend that in under the main vocal.
I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can reach your mind.
Wow, really sounds like two vocals. So that's a good trick too. And I added some chorus also, and just combined all that together to support the main vocal, and really fill it out. But that's a cool one too, right? Maybe you've never seen that one. Just duplicate your main vocal track, put an auto tune on it, make sure it's in key, whatever, and just blend that in slightly. And it's like a chorus effect that actually is a little more natural and doesn't even sound like it's more like a vocal double. That's cool. That's a couple of little cool things here. The rest of what I did in this mix is pretty straightforward. I can't find anything else that interesting, but yeah, I'm happy with the way it came out. All right, so I'll be sharing more soon. Hopefully that was informative, educational. And I'll see you on the next one.